from the mind of Duncan Trussell came to life by Pendleton Ward and Titmouse Studios, The Midnight Gospel was created. This show, I came to this show not knowing exactly what to expect, and now after watching this show, I leave not even feeling like I was watching a show. To me, this feels more like a podcast with visual accompaniment, and to my knowledge, that's kind of the vibe they were going for.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's a combination of your podcast and then some interstitial stuff that like you is like scripted.
It's basically what happens with, during the apocalypse, what's going to happen? People are going to do podcasts. People are going to still have conversations.
So, from my famously half-assed research, I've come to know that this show shows actual clips from interviews taken from Duncan Trussell's Family Hour podcast, mixed together with whatever world-ending situation the person being interviewed finds himself in. It's the animators and writers' job to somehow get the main character Clancy, who's voiced by Duncan Trussell, into these situations where he feels impelled to interview these guys. Clancy is a person who has run away from his sister's place, got an illegal simulation station thing, and now lives his life trying to become a successful video cast creator. Oh, didn't realize how much this would hit home before writing and watching this. Since he's just starting out, Clancy will do mostly anything for his subscribers, and so he goes off into these worlds on the brink of ending to interview these interesting and strange people. Obviously, we are to be in Clancy's perspective while these interviews take place. From Caitlin Doughty to Phil Hendry, Drew Pinsky, and even Duncan's own mother, each guest gives their own unique take of how they live their lives and understand the world for what it is. We get taste of Buddhism, Hinduism, drugs, death, magic, your role in life, forgiveness, spirituality, and the presence in oneself. Each story, or I guess interview, is unique enough for you to feel intrigued to listen to, and with this being a showcast, yes, that is what I'm going to be calling it, you don't need to pay attention to the visuals that much. It's more important to really listen to. With this being a showcast though, it does have one flaw within it. I just mentioned it, you don't have to pay that much attention to what's going on really. You won't really miss much. This is a great experimental show, but if we are to get more, criticism is needed. It takes too much time for an animation team to finish one episode for it to not really be that important. So I would recommend somehow coming up with a decent story to get sucked into, forcing the viewers to pay attention not only with their ears but with their eyes as well. Make sure that you give the audience something to latch onto and talk about, and when you do that, you will have a great show on your hands that will be talked about for ages, which is something this show does get close to by the end. I would say episodes 5, 6, and 8, maybe even 7, handle the story, interview, and animation style very well with it. Speaking of episode 8, I do want to talk about that episode for a little bit. This is the episode where Duncan / Clancy interviews their mom, and it is, in my opinion, the best episode of the entire first season. I know how it feels to lose a family member that you are close to, and it hurts. You do have regrets sometimes. If you knew things were close to ending, what would your last conversation be with that said person? This was one of the conversations Duncan got to have with his mother when she had 3 weeks left. This was the episode to talk about spirituality, to focus on one's presence, but not the surface presence, the presence on the inside. From blood flow to cells to your actual soul. The animation accompanying this episode was wonderful, from showing them aging through the conversations to ending up being planets assumingly sucked into a black hole by the end. We got to see the miracle of birth and even the miracle of death. In the grand scheme of things, we are small, but at the same time, we are larger than life. This was the episode that made me realize that this whole series was us diving deep inside the mind of Duck and Trussell. And at the end of the episode, where everything exploded and we're left with the question, is he dead? And the answer, it doesn't matter. Just go along the ride. It just hits, I don't know. At the end of the day, whether you're alive or dead, it really doesn't matter. Just accept it and face it and whatever else there is to face head on and hope for the best. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I love reviewing shows and trying to either get into the mind of the characters or scratch the surface level, making sure deeper conversations happen on the shows. It's too bad that this cannot happen all the time though. It takes a good bit somehow to find the words you want to say about something you may not actually be satisfied with the results for. But trust me when I say, you will have a hell of a fun time trying to find those words. When I reacted to the trailer, I didn't know who Duck and Trussell was, and now I kind of feel like I'm a part of his life and cannot wait for the next season of the show. Thank you. I hope I see each and every one of you again. Goodbye.